Welcome to your daily dose of hope. I'm Phyllis Nichols, and I'm glad you're here. Have you ever woken up from a dream and immediately wanted to go back to sleep so you could pick up where you left off? I can't be the only person that happens to. I dream almost every night, and I remember little bits and pieces of lots of them. Lately, though, I feel like I've been having some really weird dreams. And a recent one that I remembered a lot about had me driving in a blizzard, which I would never do. And at the same time, I was also cooking and preparing a meal for a whole bunch of people. A blizzard and cooking, somehow it was all happening at the same time, which, is how weird things happen in my dreams. I don't know what it means. I'm not trying to figure out any deep, dark meaning. I think maybe sometimes my brain just throws things together. I don't know. But I did realize that my dream affects like how I feel when I wake up. Sometimes I wake up from a dream that's like funny or heartwarming, and I realize that, I'm smiling even before I really get out of bed, right? And that feeling follows me into the day, which is great. I love it when that happens. But some other times, I can wake up feeling anxious or worried or maybe even a little fearful, depending on what was happening. And the emotions feel really real. If it's one of those anxious type things, I definitely have to remind myself, like, this was just a dream. It wasn't real. Didn't really happen. Everything's okay. It's not really a blizzard. And that even though the dream isn't real, obviously I know that, but the emotional feeling, at least for a moment, was definitely real, which kind of fascinates me because our brain, you know, is really powerful and it doesn't really tell the difference between sort of what we're imagining and what is truly real to us. So it reminded me or made me think about like how often do we do that even when we're awake, right? We have these stories that we tell ourselves that we allow to upset us potentially. We worry about things that haven't happened because we're thinking about something. How often do we replay an old conversation, right? And attach some sort of meaning to it and let it really bug us? Paying attention to our thought matters just for those kinds of reasons because we can't control every single thought that enters our mind. We really can't. But we can decide what to do with the ones that really aren't serving us well. We can question them and we can challenge them and we can ask, like, hey, is this even true? Like, why am I even worrying about this? We can choose not to let every thought become like a permanent fixture in our brain, right? Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it deserves our attention. And just because a feeling is strong, it doesn't mean that that is true. Sometimes a dream is just a dream, and sometimes a thought is just a thought. Hope grows when we can tell the difference and also when we give ourselves the chance to just pause before reacting or letting ourselves kind of get carried away with it. Sometimes we have enough in this world to navigate without worrying about things that aren't really real or letting a dream like bug us over time, right? Our thoughts truly do have power. But even more important, we have the power to decide which ones we're going to pay attention to and which ones we're going to let carry on. So today, I hope that if you have some kind of weird feeling or like a dream that bugs you, certainly, or just a thought pattern that kind of keeps showing up that's really not helpful, give yourself permission to just let it go. Thanks for being here. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.